Hey, little friends, how are you? Today I'm here with Hannah, right, sweetie? She's really happy because she got a new dress. Just look how cute this dress she's wearing is. It's a little fox dress, and it's a long-sleeved knit dress. Check out the little skirt. I even put on some little sandals to match the dress. Look how adorable she looks. Let me show you the back of the dress here. See how it has a Velcro closure, and the skirt is really flared. Look how cute it looks on her. So adorable, isn't it? So, friends, if you like this dress style, I'm going to teach you how to make it today here on the channel. So if you're a kid, go ahead and call your dad, mom, grandma, or aunt to help you, because during the video we'll be using some dangerous objects. If you're a child, you need to ask an adult for help. Down below in the video description, there will be a link with the pattern for you to print and make this beautiful dress for your baby alive. This little dress fits both Nina and Hannah, as well as the bigger dolls like Sophia, Olivia, and Sarah Camelona. So it's a really cute dress. Look how adorable it looks on her. So did you guys like it? All right, let's go learn how to make it. Let's go, friends. To make this little dress, I was here working on some patterns. That's why it's on this kind of paper. But I'll make it available for you on regular office paper, all neat, but it'll come like this on the fabric fold. You'll get this part here, which is the front, the back part, the sleeves, and the skirt will be noted on one of the pieces. So you're going to fold your fabric. I chose to use knit fabric. You'll line up this part here on the fold. It'll be written where you need to fold, and you'll trace all the way around and cut it out just once. This part here. For the back part, you'll cut out this pattern twice. And for the sleeves, right, you'll do the same thing. Here will be the fabric fold. You align this part here on the fold and cut all the way around twice. There will be two pieces because there are two sleeves. And for the skirt, it'll be a rectangle measuring 62 by 11 centimeters. If you want a fuller skirt, you can increase this 62 here. So it ends up the size you want with as much gathering as you like. I've already got my front piece cut out here. The two back pieces are also here already. The two sleeves, since this will be a long sleeve dress. If you want a short sleeve dress, just cut this one in half, see? You put the sleeve cuff up here at the top, look, and cut off this part. That way, you can make a dress with half sleeves. You can make two little dresses using just one pattern. And for the skirt part, it's already here. Mine ended up being much more than 62 because I cut the entire length of fabric I had. So it's going to be really gathered. If you want more or less, you just decide when you're cutting. So let's get started. To assemble this little outfit, how are we going to do it? First, let's take the front piece and place it right side up like this. One of the back pieces. Let's line up here. Look, the armhole and the shoulders. We line up the shoulders here, shoulder to shoulder. And on the other side, do the same thing. Let's align the shoulders. I'll go to the machine and sew right here. I'm going to use the overlock because my machine doesn't sew knits. So let's go sew and I'll be right back to show you. I've already sewn it. Look, I stitched the shoulders and it turned out like this. Look, when you open the seams like this, just give it a little stretch. If you want, you can press it with an iron so everything lays nice and flat. Now, what am I going to do? I can't do that stitch where you fold it here like this, make that little hem, right? And then sew all the way around. My machine can't sew it, it just tangles up all the fabric. So how can we finish this neckline without having to, deal with that? What if you can't sew it either if your machine doesn't sew it? I'm going to take a piece of fabric, stretch it out like this, grab my piece and place it right on top, right sides together, and open it up well so nothing is overlapping here. So look, I stretched it out nicely, everything's in place. Now I'm going to grab the pen. This pen here is that magic pen, the one where the ink disappears after you iron it. So there's no problem using it. I'm going to draw this part here, look. I'm going to trace the whole outline of the collar here. There I've drawn it. Now I'll go about 1.5 centimeters out from here, which is how much I want, and then I'll remove my piece. Now I'm left with this. Now I'm going to come here and, keeping the same distance all along the outline I just drew, like those neck pillows, trace around it. Look, I do it like this. Now all I have to do is cut out this template here. I've already cut out my piece. Now I'm going to take this one again with the right side facing up, and I'm going to place this piece on top of it. Oh, but why didn't you just cut this piece out using the template? Why didn't you already include it in the template drawing too? Because depending on your seam allowance or the type of fabric you're using, the size of this piece here might end up different. So cutting it like this makes it easier, because look at mine, see? Oh, I forgot to cut here. I was about to say it's too big, but I didn't cut this corner here, see? So there might be a bit of a difference. This way, the size of your piece will be just right. Now you just need to pin it to keep everything perfectly in place. Let me pin this other corner here, and I'll put one right in the middle too. Let me fix it like this, right here in the middle, to keep this facing in place. It's called facing, right? In regular sewing for adults, for people, it's called facing. So this is how it turned out. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to take it to the machine and sew all the way around here with a seam about 5 millimeters from the edge. I'm not going to make it too wide so the armhole on the blouse doesn't end up too big. So I'll sew it about 5 millimeters from the edge. After sewing, putting it right sides together like this, I'm going to take this piece, flip it to the back, and fold it right here at the seam, see? Just like that. You can even do it from the wrong side. It's easier that way. Let's start here at the seam, since that's the sturdiest part, see? You fold it, line it up just right, and let's pin it in place. Then I keep doing this all the way around, folding and tucking all this facing to the inside, making sure the seam is nice and aligned at the neckline, and pinning it as I go. Do this all the way around. The more pins you use, the more secure you'll feel when sewing, because everything stays neat and in place. See? Look, just put a pin anywhere you think it's needed to keep everything tidy, see? When it's time to sew, go very slowly so you can remove the pins little by little. See that? Tuck everything neatly inside. Now we just need to go to the sewing machine and stitch all the way around about 5 millimeters from the edge. I've sewn it, and look how nice and tidy everything looks. And then here on the inside, if you want to come and trim this seam here, cut off the excess fabric, you can do that too. Just take the scissors and cut really close to the edge. There's no problem because the knit fabric doesn't fray. So you don't need to finish this edge at all. You can just come and cut off the excess here. I'm going to cut it so it looks really neat, trimming it nice and close right up against the collar. Just be careful not to cut the fabric underneath. Okay? You have to go very carefully, see? Just trimming the excess from this little flap, this facing. All done. Now we're going to attach the sleeves. How are we going to do that? Let's take our blouse, open it up here, fold the sleeve in half, and find the center of this top part here. I'm going to make a little notch just to mark where it is. Then I'm going to place it like this, right sides together with the sleeve facing inward. This spot where I made a notch, I'm going to place it right on top of the shoulder seam and pin it in place. So I'll pin it here, put a pin right here, and keep pinning the sleeve all along the armhole. Here, let's move it over a bit. You can even pin it right at the end here, and then you can spread out the pins along the whole edge. Like this, I'm going to take this one out and give it a little stretch, see? The good thing about knit fabric is that you can give it a little stretch to adjust the fabric. Ouch! Be careful not to poke your finger. I always prick myself. Pin it here. There, now let's go over to the other side. All done. Now just take it to the machine and sew right here all the way to here. Then after you do that, come to this other side and do the same thing. Fold the sleeve, find the center, line it up with the shoulder seam, pin all along the armhole, and then sew it. I've already sewn the sleeves, look. I've already finished the edges with the overlock, so everything looks nice and neat. And while I was at it, I folded and hemmed the sleeves too. I sewed both of them. I made a little fold of about 5 millimeters and stitched it. Now I'm going to turn it like this, putting right sides together. I'm going to line up the sleeves here, starting at the cuff. Then I'll pin one here, and now I'll pin under the arm to keep everything lined up. Always matching seam to seam so everything stays just right. Now yes, I'll put one here in the middle just to hold it in place. And now the sides. Look, come here to the side. I'm going to line up these two ends. This knit fabric sticks together, so I'll pin it. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. After everything is pinned, just take it to the machine and sew here and down and here and down. If you want, you can also use the overlock or zigzag stitch to give it a nice finish. I've sewn it, used the overlock, now all we have to do is turn it right side out. Now that everything is ready here, the top part, we'll leave it as it is and move on to the skirt part. Let's go to the machine and hem the entire length of our fabric. On the top part, we're going to sew with a wide stitch and gather it until it matches this width here. Now I have my little skirt gathered to the same width as my top. Now just take the top, put right sides together, and start pinning everything. I'm going to attach it here. Let me grab a corner. I'll secure it firmly here. Break time equals 0.5s/. And then I will continue to keep pinning all the way to the very end of the line. Everything is now securely pinned, so you can simply proceed to the sewing machine and carefully sew a straight seam. I've attached the whole skirt to the top. Take a look. If you want, you can fold this whole part up, come here from the front side, and sew a little stitch really close to the waistband so that it secures all the stitching here. I'm not going to do that because since it's knit fabric, if you stretch it, the seam might break. But if you want to and you're not going to stretch it much, if it's the exact size for your doll, you can do it. Now we just come over to this side. I'm going to trim off this excess that's sticking out. See, it's no problem. You can just come here and cut off this little piece. Just snip it here. There you go. Let's fold it. Make a little fold like this to the inside, a tiny fold, and sew from the bottom of the skirt all the way up to the collar. And on the other side, do the same thing. Let's fold it and sew from top to bottom. Then after you finish this seam, just add the Velcro. Cut a piece big enough so that the back sticks together completely, and if possible, even a little bit of the skirt, and do the same thing on this side. Then just stick one part to the other. I sewed the sides, attached the Velcro, and my dress is done. Look how cute it is. Now I'm going to put it on the doll so you can see how it looks. So friends, did you like it? Look how cute it turned out. I thought it was a little tight here on the sleeve, but I'll make those adjustments to your pattern so it'll fit just right. Since the first time I made it, it was really tight, I'm going to make it bigger so when you make it, it'll fit perfectly. That was the only thing I noticed, that it was a little tight. Everything else turned out just right. The length is good, the width of the little shirt is also fine. It's just the sleeve that's a bit tight because it has this seam here, right where the fabric body joins the rubber arm, so it's a bit thicker there. So I need to make the sleeve a little wider, and her little hand here, since it's open, it's harder to get it through the opening I left. This one here is more closed, so it goes through easily. Now this one is a bit more work, but I'll fix this problem and your pattern will turn out just right. So she's really excited about this new little dress I made for her. Look how cute it turned out. I use knit fabric. You can use knit, you can use regular fabric too, but I think with knit it looks really nice. It turns out all flowy, really light. So if you like this little dress, don't forget to leave a like down below. And also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. Share this video.